sweeping the way for people like Kellogg, people that maybe know better what they're doing, to fill in and actually deal with the detail and say, sorry about that.
Well, I don't know the ins and outs of that, but I think what we see, and I'm really not surprised that British people in this survey, and increasingly, are beginning to realise two things. It's not just Trump, that this so-called special relationship was never a special relationship. America has been the dominant partner and we've been supplicants. And I'm really pleased that we're now actually beginning to see that this is not good for us. So from the British point of view, I think
I mean, that goes back to our partnership during the Second World War, doesn't it?
But
And the First World War as well.
Different thing altogether.
Yeah.
In the years that have followed, the Iraq War is a prime example of how we were used, or Blair allowed us to be used. But then, let's talk about Trump. He is, in my view, a monstrous man, a political, a kind of crazed, untrustworthy, destructive person who changes his mind one day after another. You can't trust him. You cannot trust him. And you know, one of the things I feel very angry about, that we're not covering the anxiety and anger of Americans who say what I'm saying.
OK, listen, I want to take some calls. Thank you, Yasmin. Angela's in Merseyside. Can we trust Donald Trump as an ally, Angela?
No, I'm very sorry, but you can't. And I need to say, before I just say about why, that the last chap that was on, Mark, sounds like somebody that would vote for Trump, whatever he did. And those people are not getting their eggs and they're not getting their groceries lowered. So I'm sorry to say that, but that man is delusional. The reason you can't trust Trump, I'd like you all to go and have a look at some of the things on YouTube that are coming out of all the Americans that came out on President Day, and read their signs. He is gutting his own country.
Yeah.
The people that have gone through are going to absolutely go against anything that a human being should have in their own country. And for as far as him with Trump, with Putin, he'll do exactly the same that he's done with Israel. If Starmer goes over, all he'll see and all he'll get is he should go over just to see the atmosphere. I hope he speaks to some of the Democrats over there and some of the people or some of his people speak to the real Americans and what they're suffering now.
Angela,
so what
about the idea that sometimes to achieve something that you really want, and a lasting peace in Ukraine is, I think, something that everybody wants. Sometimes you have to hold your nose. You have to look past what people are saying in a moment to shake things up. And you actually have to look at what you can get for yourself, for Europe, for the UK, that might stop people dying and might put us in a safer place.
Well, I tell them to hold their nose. That's what I'm saying to you, and see what he's going to really feel, Starmer, when he goes over there. Trump will lie through his teeth to Starmer to see how Starmer's reacting. And then he'll use it and tell people that Starmer went and kissed the ring. I can tell you that now.
But I want to take you up. Sorry, I want to take you up on what you've just said, because Russia, under Putin, not the whole nation, not the people of Russia necessarily, whose opposition has always been crushed by Putin, wants to recreate the USSR. He's not going to stop with Ukraine. He's taken Crimea.
You're right.
Yeah? So this idea that it'll be peace for all of us, I mean, how stupid are we?
I know, you're absolutely right. I agree with you, Yasmin. What I would say is it shouldn't be Europe, and I think it's Canada now. The world should look at this. And if you don't want to see a third world war, you need to be, and you've got to be really careful, because the guy who's just got through with the FBI, you've got to be careful when you're actually going to communicate with one another, because the FBI is being cut down. And people who are mega people are going to be in charge of the FBI.
But Angela and Yasmin, we've had 3 years of this war now, and Europe's best efforts, our best efforts to bring it to some kind of conclusion or just a peaceful state have failed. You know, isn't this the time to trust somebody who has a different approach, who maybe, through all the bluster and the inaccuracies and lies that we're seeing, has the chance to shake things up and have another
No,
go?
because look, this man, Trump has said millions of Ukrainians have been killed. Millions of Ukrainians have not been killed.
We know that there are inaccuracies. We know that there are lies.
No, this is, and part of the agenda for him, they want the minerals of Ukraine, Russia and the US. This is all about money.
Yeah, I mean, there have been democratically elected dictators.
Every time the people say, "Oh, this was a mandate," and the guy before said, "You know, he was elected."
But we're talking about respecting democracy from that point of view.
Stop criticising them.
And I don't think that's the plan at all. I